What's up, guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. Welcome to Chase's workshop. Stick around. What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how to make this cool effect with just a few little tools. If you don't have a power drill, that's fine. You can always use just a regular old wire brush. And you can buy one of these at any of your hardware stores for under $5 probably. I think I paid right at $4 for this. Or you can get one of these wheels, and this is a 4-inch wheel with an arbor on it, so it goes in a drill. And I have a drill. So if you have a drill and you're going to spend $4 on this, spend $6 for one of these, and I'll show you how to do this real quick. It's very simple. I got this idea from other guys on YouTube, so I would say make sure you wear a mask, some eye protection, and maybe even some gloves, because sometimes these little pricklies here can get you if you ain't careful. But best thing to do would probably do this outside. But for this purposes, it's raining today and it's cold outside, so I'm gonna do it inside. But anyways, I'm gonna go over right quick how you do it, and there's other videos on YouTube of people using this same technique. But here goes. I hope the camera don't shake too much. But all I'm gonna do is put this in. I'm gonna spin the way I want it to spin. I'm gonna just start. You can see already that it's giving you some grain here, and what that's going to do is when we put the paint on, the paint's going to go into the grooves, and then when we come back and we're going to resand it, and it's going to leave exposed the top grain. So let me finish this up, and I'll get back to you. I know it's shaking the camera a lot, but we'll get back and I'll show you exactly how I finish this. So here we go. Sorry if it's dusty and everything on the camera, but it's kind of a messy project. But it's totally worth it once you look at this grain and this wood, and you can see all the raised spots. That's what actually gives you that weathered look. Like I said, there's a bunch of tutorials on online on YouTube about how to do this, and that's where I learned how to do it from. And some of the steps I take. Afterwards, I'm going to show you about how to get that paint into the grooves and sand it and give it some stain on top to make it look really, really distressed and like it's been sitting around for 20-30 years or something outside. So stick around. Like I said, I'm going to try to let you see. You can see how the grain just stands up after you do this. And after I do that too, a lot of times I'll take a brush and just kind of sweep it real good and get it clean. And hit some of the high spots. Get some of the sawdust out of the center of it. Like it. I'm sorry if the camera was shaking like crazy, but I really don't have any other way to film me doing that without doing that. I'll try to edit some of it out. But you can see now too a lot better. I'm trying to get that light to hit it just right to where you can see it. See that? Okay, well I'm going to come back and show you the next part, what we do. Alright guys, now that I've got the texture on the wood, so I've actually took the soft spots of the wood out and left the hard spots, and this gave me a grain to the wood. This gave it a weathered look. So now the next process is to paint it. And I want to use some chalk paint. It's just some that I used to paint a cabinet with one time. And I had some left. You can use anything. A lot of the stuff when I try to get different colors is I use acrylics. You know, you can buy these at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, anywhere. I've used Autowares. I've even used Silver White to mix with these colors to get different colors. So I mean, anything's possible. Any kind of paint will work. I haven't used like oil-based paints or anything like that on it, but I'm sure they would work just well. It just might take longer for them to dry. But all we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my paint out. I thought I had a better brush somewhere, but this is all I got, so bear with me. But I'm just gonna take this paint, and you want to cover it. You want to get all the way into the grain. You don't want to leave any spots that don't have paint down inside of them. Let me just do that, and we'll go over this. You can even dump a little bit out and spread it around, however you want to do it. Just make sure it's a good coat, and it goes down into the wood. Okay. Now you can kind of might be able to see some of the grain in it. That's what I'm having trouble showing you, but I think right there might be the best look. But you can especially see down here where this knot is, that it's kind of standing up. And that's it for the second part of this. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back and I gotta let this dry. Once it dries, we're gonna come back and we're gonna sand it down. I'll be back to show you that here shortly. Okay, so our paint is dried now. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this grain on this wood. You see how it's standing up, and you can actually start seeing the high spots. And now our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sand this. And all I'm using, I've just got, you can hand sand it if you want to, but I would make sure that you're using if you're just using a piece of paper, make sure you're using a block with it, because you don't want to get down into these grooves. You want to leave these grooves. You just want to basically knock the top off of this raised grain. Now I'm using just a Bosch sander with a 80 grit sandpaper. I'm going to hit it right quick. I'm going to try to film it while I'm doing it. Hopefully the camera's not too shaky. And if it is, we'll just I'm just going to go over it right quick and let you see how it works. But here we go. All right. It's pretty simple when you go through it. Now you can actually see the grain. Let me zoom in on it again so we can see it better. Now you can actually see where the grain is, where the grain ends, and the grooves start. So it gives you that really cool texture. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step it up a notch. I'm gonna show you something else that I do to it to make it look really good. And I always take your brush or something and just clean up any kind of debris or anything that's on the board before you do this. Just clean off any of the stuff. Take a brush or something and wipe it down, or a rag. Just clean out all the pores, as much of that stuff as you can. Okay, so the next part that I do is put some more of a contrast between this the parts I've sanded off and the white. I use a stain, and this is actually a dark walnut stain. You can use any color. You can use any color you want. I've got some red mahogany that I've used. Just whatever color you're wanting to go for. So what I do is I take a rag, and you don't want it soft. You want it hard. So you want to take it and make some folds, make you like that, where you have a hard flat spot. And what we're going to do is we're going to dip it in our stain, and on this, less is more. So once you dip it in the stain, this is going to be saturated with stain. Take it and wipe it on a piece of paper. So I've got just a pad of paper right here. I will take the stain, I will dip it, I will wipe it on here, and then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to hit the tops. And that's why I was saying to make this hard. You don't want to have a lot of stain, and you don't want this to be soft. If it is, it's going to get down into the actual grooves that you've made. So let me pop the top on this right here, and we'll go over it. We'll do that. I'm gonna try to keep my stain out of the way where I don't drip onto my project. But there's the stain, and I've even used a lot of times just use what's on the cap. But like I said, fold this up, get a good hard knot on it, dip it in the stain. You can even, I'll just dip in here so I can show you that. Alright, see how it's saturated there? And I'm going to take it, I'm going to wipe it on this wood piece of paper right here. Get a lot of it off. As much of it off as I can. So I just have just a little bit on there, and I'm going to take it and I'm just going to hit the tops. You can come back and get some off the paper if you just need a little bit. And the harder you press, the more it's going to go into those grooves and give you a. And you can go as far as you want to with it. I mean, you can do as much as you want. And that's basically it. Zoom in where you can see. You can see the different spots in the wood. That gives you a pretty cool contrast. I think right here I sanded a little too much, but I mean, it's basically however you want it to look. I mean, you make it look really weathered like that, or you can, do it like this and have it to where it's not as much, but it gives it a really cool look, I think. See if I can zoom it in. That's it. Now, if you're going to use this for a top or something like that, I would make sure you put some polyurethane on it. You can use anything. You can buy some from Lowe's or anywhere and just wipe some poly on top of it. And it will make it look a lot more. It'll actually make it a little bit darker and kind of yellow it a little bit, but it does have a really good look. So, well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just comment. If you like the page, subscribe. I'm gonna have some more videos of stuff that maybe projects like this that I've done, and hope you subscribe and liked it. Leave me a comment. Thanks for watching.